Welcome to the Camnet Breakfast, the Thursday edition, Governance and Policy, with me, Patrick Soko, and Sharon Kalimbula, as we get to the deliberations of the day. Good morning, Sharon.
Good morning, Patrick. Good morning to you, our dear viewers. Thank you so much for choosing us this morning. It is a Thursday, and it is the breakfast show, like Patrick has mentioned. Just a reminder, this is your show. You're free to call us from the word go up until the last minute. So we are with you for the next 2 hours or so, deliberating on various issues affecting the country. Of course, we will have the interviews, and we'll be zooming into some of the stories, as well as bringing you the health corner and the money markets, while Patrick will still talk about sports and other related activities.
Just now, we do our first segment with Isaac Matsa on Morning Boost.
Good morning, Team Camnet, and welcome to our Morning Boost. And my name is Isaac Matsa. I am here to get you ready before you go about your day. So let's start with the warm-up, then we raise our fitness level. Let's go. Good morning, wherever you're watching us from. You are all welcome. Here is our warm-up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. All right, that's good. So the first workout we're going to do is going to be lunges. So I'll break them in 30 seconds. Okay, here we go. Let's go now. 30 seconds each. 1, 2, 4, start with me. Keep going. Just for 30 seconds. How is your morning? How was your night? Hope you had a restful night. Okay, you're almost there. Last one. Thank you. Okay. So I'm going to do another 30 seconds. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Go. Watch my body posture. My head is not shaking. My shoulders are still. My chest is still. That's the way it should be done. Let's go. So it's going to be 1 minute of lunges, but I broke it into 30 seconds each. Okay. Almost there. Last one. Good stuff. Okay. Here we go. Next workout now. I'm going to do some squats. This is how we're going to do it now. Okay. 10, then I move. 1 minute. I won't do any break here. Let's go, Team Camnet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And 1, 2, 3. Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Down and go. 1, 2, 3, 10. Push. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Great stuff. That was a 1 minute workout. So we've got 2 plus a warm up, which gives me 3. Okay, let's go now for a 4th workout is what we're going to do now. This time, I'm going to do a plank, a little bit on the tummy. So here we go. I'll break it also in 30 seconds. So I'm going to do 2 planks. If you can't handle that, do it in 15 seconds, but make sure you go for a minute. So 1 minute, but I'll break it into 2, 30 seconds each. Watch my posture. Make sure you're straight. Let's go. 30 seconds. I'm not too high, I'm not too low. Good morning, wherever you're watching us from. This is good for you. Your health is your wealth. Let's go, Team Camnet. If you're watching on Facebook, tell me how many seconds I've done. Just type something so that we know that you're watching. Okay. There we go. 30 seconds. I'll face this side. Another 30. Let's do a countdown, Team Camnet. Let's go. Working on the tummy now. Let's go, Team Camnet. It's a beautiful Monday. It's a beautiful morning. A beautiful Tuesday. A beautiful Wednesday, a beautiful Thursday, any other day. It's a beautiful day. Almost there. Hold it. And done. All right. So that was a 1 minute for the tummy. Let's throw some punches for another minute. Then we'll be concluding. Here we go now. 2 punches each. 1, 2, 3, 4. Go. 1. For 1 minute. Straight 1 minute. Go. Let's go. Go. Let's go. Go. Let's go. Let's go, Team Camnet. Good morning. Good morning, Zambia. Good morning, wherever you're watching us from. 2 punches each. Punch into your day. Let's go. Can you hear me, Team Camnet? Woo! A very good morning to you, ladies and gentlemen. 2 punches each for 1 straight minute. Go. 5, 4. Let's go. Awesome stuff. Let's go again. 3 punches now. Let's go. 1 minute. And 3. 10. 3. 10. 3. 10. We do this for 1 minute. 10. 3. 10. 3. Now 5. Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll end with 5. 5 punch. 5 punches. Go. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Last 5 punches. All right. Let's do a cooling down now. And we are done for today. Let's march. Keep marching. Thank you so much for working out with me today. And I'll see you next time at the same time as well. Let's go. Open your stance. And let's wind up now. Go. Let's wind up. Let's wind up. You're good to go now. Ready for the day. Awesome stuff. Thank you so much, Team Camnet, viewers, wherever you're watching us from. This has been Isaac Mata, your presenter for this morning booth. I'm going to see you at the same time. And make sure that you tag your friends, let them come and join us, and we do a workout together. Thank you, and I'll see you.
Welcome back. That's our all-weather friendly on the breakfast show, who always brings us these morning drills just to help us shake our bodies and keep our hearts running, our blood veins activated from the sleep. And we hope that you too out there keep doing these things, not only when he is on TV, but just when you wake up before you start your day.
As usual, the routine helps us to keep fit, especially in the wake of non-communicable diseases. It is advised, especially that it's cold now. We're getting into the cold season. You just have to make sure that you do a little bit of exercise to ensure that you keep fit. Just now, I think we get into our next segment, the Health Corner, with the Medical Women Association of Zambia, and this time around we have Dr. Mainga Naluwe, who's going to help us with the symptoms of cholera. This is a topic we've been discussing for this week, and it has been topical because we had a breakout, especially in Mutendele, to be specific, in Munari constituency. So we just get to understand the symptoms so that we can take early action to prevent it.
Let's look at this, and on the other side, we'll continue with the breakfast show.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Dr. Mainga Naluwe. I'm with the Medical Women's Association of Zambia. For the past 2 days, we've been discussing cholera. On day one, we discussed what cholera is and what it does to the body. And yesterday, we discussed how to prevent cholera. And some of the ways we talked about was making sure that we wash our hands for at least 20 seconds with soap and water, making sure that our water is kept clean. How do we keep our water clean? By boiling it and by using chlorine. And also, we also talked about making sure that the fruits and vegetables that we eat are always washed, and reducing buying foods from the street. So today we're going to talk about the signs and symptoms of cholera. So we talked about cholera being a disease that's caused by a bacteria called Vibrio cholerae. And last time I discussed what it does to the body. So I talked about how when it goes into the body, the Vibrio cholerae, which is the germ that causes cholera, produces poisons in the body, in the intestines, which cause large amounts of water to be lost through diarrhea and vomiting, and not just water or fluids, but also electrolytes. And so our signs and symptoms are going to come off based on this. So we know that our first which is the common sign that we see, is the vomiting and the diarrhea. But then what type of vomiting and diarrhea is this? Because we know that there are so many things that cause vomiting and diarrhea. Things such as viruses, other types of infections. But in this case, we're talking about cholera and the exact diarrhea and vomiting that it causes. So we call the type of diarrhea and vomiting, it looks like rice water. And you know what rice water is. When we wash rice before cooking it, that water that looks whitish on top, when we're pouring that water before cooking rice, that's how the diarrhea and the vomiting that people who have cholera looks like. So when you see that, it's the #1 sign, and you have to rush this person to the hospital. Because we talked about how this can cause dehydration, and dehydration can cause death if it's severe. So other signs and symptoms will now be based on dehydration. So someone will complain about being thirsty, someone will complain about being restless, someone will have muscle cramps because they lost muscle cramps and spasms. That's because of the loss of electrolytes that I talked about last time, which are elements that are needed for the body to function very well. And then other signs are someone could go into a coma, someone could have seizures because of the electrolyte imbalances that we talked about also. And also cholera usually affects the extremes of ages, so in babies and in the elderly. So it's very important for us to know the signs and symptoms in these specific people, because you know babies won't talk, they won't tell you how they're feeling. So sometimes some signs of dehydration in the babies are they'll have sunken eyes, So their eyes will go in, and then they'll complain of thirst, their mouths will be dry, and yes, their mouths will be dry. Some other people complain about weakness, and they'll have reduced urine. So someone would talk about how they're not going to the bathroom to urinate as frequent as they usually do, because now they've lost too much fluid, and so there's reduced urine, reduced sweating, and all these other things. So we've talked about the signs and symptoms, and it now becomes easy to identify who has cholera. And so each time you notice maybe someone in your family or even you has these signs and symptoms, do not just sit at home. Make sure you seek medical attention. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Dr. Mainga Nalue with Medical Women's Association.
Well, there you have it. There with Dr. Nalue from the Medical Women Association discussing the issue of cholera, which has been topical for a while now, complementing the COVID-19 pandemic, which has been with us since 2020, is it?
2020.
And we're still talking about new cases, no confirmed cases, fatalities,
recoveries, fatalities.
All those things.
Exactly. But then cholera has also broken out in Lusaka. This is according to the ministry responsible for health, and the minister, Silva Masewa, made this announcement, and she's taken it up to make this announcement every day as she unveils to the public the COVID-19 statistics. She also puts in the cholera issue. And Mutendere, like we mentioned yesterday, being the first area where the case was recorded, rather, involving a 3-year-old. It just touches me when I think about the 3-year-old
child. Yeah.
Yes. We hope that the situation will be contained, and cholera will not be as bad as it was, I think, in 2017, 2016, somewhere there, when the Hero Stadium was said to be a cholera center. I remember covering the story from there with former President Edgar Lungu. We went there, and the place was just something else. We had a lot of kids, and the problem with kids is that you need to have somebody to take care of them, which is more likely they may also have that disease, because it's very contagious,
Exactly.
It's very contagious. So if a child has it, it's more likely that a lot of people will have, even all the caregivers around that place, if they don't take precaution. And it's that bad. Anyways.
Exactly. And just now we have to understand how our currency is performing this week. It has been in the 17 range bound, but we get to the specifics on the money market.
All right, the foreign exchange as of today, the 21st of April 2022, the US dollar is buying at 17 kwacha 26 ingwe and selling at 17 kwacha 60 ingwe. The euro is buying at 18 kwacha 89 ingwe and selling at 19 kwacha 26 ingwe. The Great British Pound is buying at 22 kwacha 54 ingwe and selling at 22 kwacha 99 ingwe, while the South African rand is buying at 1 kwacha 15 ingwe and selling at 1 kwacha 17 ingwe. Those are your money markets.
There you have it. And just yesterday, we understand there was an update from the Minister of Finance regarding the IMF.
Exactly, Patrick.
The meetings are on.
The meetings are on, and we hope that something better comes up, because this has also been very topical, I think, with those that understand the nitty-gritties of how public resources are supposed to be used and how these IMF packages work. One of them is Shalakateka, New Heritage Party president. She's been on top of this and asking government to clearly state their position on this. And there's also a consortium that came up, I think Prudence is one who covered the story some 2 weeks ago, saying we opposed to this IMF bailout package. Yes. Obviously, they had their own reasons as to why they didn't want Zambia to take this route, because according to them, they feel the debt keeps ballooning. And, if at all we continue moving in this trajectory, how are we going to be, as a country? So they feel we can source resources, homegrown. We're not sure how, but obviously they know how.
Exactly. Yeah, but again, the fear is that the IMF bailout package comes with stiff conditions.
Exactly.
That are likely to affect especially the most vulnerable citizens. And we understand that Zambia's social protection mechanisms do not accommodate everyone. There are still citizens who are vulnerable, but they are not on a social cash transfer scheme. So, or any social protection intervention, rather, such as the social cash transfer. And it just accommodates a certain number of the population. And if you check, Zambia is about, we have a population that is estimated to be around 18 million and going towards 19 million, and that will be verified
even
by the
over
census. Yes,
until the census is
done.
verified.
So if you check the number of social protection beneficiaries can only be equated to about 1 million. So now what happens is 17 million. Does it mean they are well off?
They are rich.
So those are questions we need to
Wealthy.
be asking. So when you put up an IMF bailout package that may come with conditions, well, it may be just a different scenario altogether. I remember the PF also avoided, at some point they were avoiding the IMF route, and they wanted to implement a budget that was sort of a replica of the IMF. And we saw that time it was Mutati saying we can't spend what we don't have. So they implemented a budget that was going to try to rectify Zambia's economy. But we don't understand where they had to divert and went way wide. But we just hope that, like those CSOs are suggesting that we need to also look inwards in terms of us avoiding that route. But also it is difficult, Sharon, if you ask me, because the IMF now becomes an insurator for Zambia, because they have to also be like a lawyer to say, okay, this country is going to put in place right economic policies. So you can actually negotiate with them in terms of how they can pay your debt.
Yes.
They'll pay back your debt eventually. So you don't have to be worried about that. And we are making sure of that. That's the role of the IMF that they would play if at all that succeeds. And on the other side, if it does not, then it becomes difficult for the Zambian government to negotiate with debtors, because they won't have trust in us, and there are some payments that are due, including one of the Eurobonds, which is due this year. So all those things need to be addressed by the government to ensure that we remain afloat as we implement the IMF bailout package. The most vulnerable citizens are not hardly affected. So just now, yesterday there were also some games, and especially in the EPL, some games yesterday, and also in the Spanish La Liga, we had some games. I think we can have a look
at what was happening.
Yes, what was happening, especially the game.
I think Elijah seems excited today. I don't know why.
Involving Arsenal and Chelsea. I think Elijah seems to be
excited, relieved. So they're not talking about me today.
Something that is thinking of in terms of that, because yesterday we were talking about Manchester, Sharon, when
disappointed,
they were beaten by 4-0. We saw Manchester United fans saying, we are praise singers, and we'll continue singing.
We'll continue to be praising.
And we have one praise singer here. So let's look at those scores for yesterday. We had in the EPL, we had Everton up against the Leicester. They played to a 1-1 draw. Chelsea, unfortunately, the person I was requesting to make sure that this scoreboard is on screen is a Chelsea fan. And sadly, Arsenal was a better side. It gives excitement to Geoffrey Ziambo, Sharon.
Oh, yeah?
Arsenal was a better side, managing to beat Chelsea by 4-2. And this is a team that hasn't been performing fine. This Arsenal, in terms of they've recorded a series of losses in the past, including the weekend's encounter. We have also Norwich, who managed to beat Crystal Palace by 1-0. Manchester City, the citizens, usually you don't have to count them on the losing side. They're just like Liverpool, all they do is win most of the times. Man City, Brighton there, they won that match by 3-0. And we also had Burnley up against Southampton. That's the game that we played today, this evening. Thank you for that update, Isaac.
All right, so that's what we have in the world of sports internationally. Obviously, we will also be looking at what we have in local sports, Patrick.
Yes, in local sports.
Camnet Stars, you've barely spoken about Camnet Stars of late, but I meant to understand they've been playing. And winning.
Okay, the team is doing very fine. And,
you were the patron of that.
Yeah, I usually reserve this comment because usually it is exciting when we are watching off the pitch. On Saturday, when they are unpacking it, Augustine and Amos and corruption, as Amos calls him, corruption. When they start unpacking the Camnet arrangement, the team has been doing fine. They've been recording a series of wins, and even though they had a good friendly encounter up against Young Zanaco. This is a team with a high reputation. Okay. And they have a team that is playing in League One. So our team couldn't, in the friendlies, we couldn't manage to beat them. So we had those encounters, but it was a good experience for the boys. Yeah. And we are also, there's a team that has been assembled for the senior team, apart from the initial Camnet Stars. So the other team will be playing in another league, in another first league, effective the coming season. So they're just preparing the team for those matches, and that's what has been happening in the world of Camnet TV. Then we also had the draws. I think Isaac can also give me the fixtures for the draws for the Chipolo Polo, so that we can just understand what are the teams. Everyone
got excited. Everyone got excited to say, okay, Zambia or Apasima Kwanisa is a Kwanisa. But because I really don't follow so much of football, I was like, okay, are these weak teams or what? Because
yes, that's all right. Okay. For me, my first initial reaction. In fact, the coach also had a press briefing yesterday at FAS where he was actually indicating the preparedness of the team. That he has to start preparing the team instantly. No. But this encounter, Sharon, is very complicated in the sense that we have Ivory Coast.
The Ivorians.
We have Ivory Coast. So it's really a tough encounter, if you ask me. And our first match next month will be up against the Ivory Coast. That's where we are going to start our first match, and we are going to go in their backyard, and it's not easy. Ivory Coast, Sharon, is not an easy team.
It's not an easy team.
So we just hope that we have to be, when you're competing with the other team, Sharon, you have to also be ready. You don't have to give chance. We have to beat a better team to win.
To make a name, exactly.
Yes, so we have Cote d'Ivoire. We're in Group H, rather. Then we have Cote d'Ivoire, also known as Ivory Coast. Zambia there. Then we also have Comoros and Lesotho. So if you ask me, my opinion there is that Comoros, Lesotho, we can manage to put up a fight.
But for Ivory Coast,
it's
sending shivers to you.
It's sending shivers, but it's an encounter of preparations. Those who are prepared are the ones who usually win. You don't win the match on the actual day. We have to understand how Ivory Coast plays. We have to understand how we managed to win them, especially during a fluke in the World Cup of penalties. So, you have to put on all these metrics because we managed to score penalties. Penalties can go either ways.
Yes.
It just depends on which side Lucky is. So, but we just hope that we will manage to beat Ivory Coast, Lesotho, and Comoros in Group H, where we have been placed as Zambia. And the coach indicated that preparations have to start, and he can't wait, and he wants to ensure that he assembles the right team to face the Ivorians. Remember, we're talking about Ivory Coast, a team which has stars who are mostly playing in Europe, and these are almost the entire squad. They can manage to put up a squad based on foreign international players. But for us, we do have the likes of Patson Daka, Fashion Sakala, Enoch Mwepu, Evans Kangwa, a lot of them, but
not as compared to Ivory Coast.
But it's about how we're going to prepare as a team, as a country, because football, remember, is a game of the nation that brings the nation together.
It's a unifier.
So we just hope that the team qualifies, and maybe people can put their problems behind a bit, because
and enjoy the moment. But anyways, Patrick, the issue of the DPP has been very topical, at least for the last 2 weeks. Exactly. And the day before yesterday, I think a new information emerged where Milingo Lungu was saying he has immunity. He was given immunity, apparently. Exactly. But then yesterday, Minister of Justice Mulambo Haimbe and also presidential spokesperson Anthony Wale was having a press briefing updating the nation on this matter. And clearly, according to what they said, was that the DPP has powers that were given to her according to the Constitution, and she acted within her powers. And also the Drug Enforcement Commission acted within their authority, and that the minister or the president did not at any given time issue immunity to Milingo Lungu. Just in case you are joining us, this is the Breakfast Show, and just a reminder, Milingo Lungu is a provisional liquidator for KCM and has been in court accused of is it fraud or what?
A lot of charges.
Actually.
A lot of charges.
Yeah, we've been following and tracking these stories, but there was a twist at least the day before yesterday, and yesterday, Wednesday, the minister was giving an update on this matter. Also, the issue of the Booth story of the girl that was abducted. I think Zipporah went further. Yes, it's still trending. Zipporah went further to look at how people that are operating in these boats are faring, how they are feeling, because apparently it's not the only issue that has been reported, and the first time really that people are experiencing such things. So let's look at these 2 stories, and when we return, we'll continue with the show.
Tuesday, 19th April 2022, social media was awash with reactions from the public after former Konkola copper mine liquidator Milingo Lungu implicated the state as having influenced his acquittal of charges of theft and money laundering involving $1.4 billion United States dollars. According to claims by Milingo Lungu, he entered into a bargain with the state's agents spearheaded by Principal Private Secretary to the President Bradford Majila, Special Assistant to the President for Legal Affairs Christopher Mundia, Attorney General Mulilo Kabesha, Solicitor General Marshall Muchende, Director of Public Prosecution Lillian Siyuni, and Natasha Kalimukwa, the Administrator General. Minister of Justice Mulambo Haimbe says the claims by Milingo Lungu are just one side of the story and has asked members of the general public to wait for an affidavit in response to Mr. Lungu filed before the Constitutional Court by the state.
Please, let's avoid asking questions about the substantive allegations and assuming that the substantive allegations are true. You assume that meetings took place and so on and so forth. That's one side of the story only. Be patient. Wait for the correct documents to be filed into court, and you will get your answers, which by that time will be in the public domain, because as you know, court proceedings are a matter of public record.
Mr. Haimbe further adds that lapses in the law have been observed in the manner the Director of Public Prosecutor Lillian Siyuni acted when she questioned the conduct of the Drug Enforcement Commission in rearresting Milingo Lungu over the charges he was acquitted, and has since appealed to relevant authorities to expedite the investigative process.
The question that begs an answer is whether the learned DPP has exercised her functions within the confines of the law and in the public interest. Our initial assessment in answer to that question is that there have been significant lapses on the part of the DPP which require thorough, independent and fair investigation by relevant bodies.
And presidential spokesperson Anthony Wale has denied any involvement of President Hakainde Hichilema in the acquittal of Milingo Lungu and says the president is committed to fighting corruption.
Has never met, and he will never meet any individual in conflict with the law, especially not for purposes that can be understood or seen to be undermining the rule of law or the law in itself. This is a government of laws, this is a president of law and order. Such a thing would never happen, and it will never happen. And to that extent, I wish to reaffirm and confirm that we stand by the initial statements that were issued.
We wish to make it absolutely clear that it is not the policy of the New Dawn government for the President to meet and negotiate with any person that is in conflict with the law for the purposes of subverting the course of justice. Kindly take note.
We will continue to monitor how the matter will unfold as it is before the courts of law. Prudence Jota, reporting for Camnet TV News.
For 7 days now, this mobile money booth belonging to Pamela Chisumpa, age 22, has remained closed and unattended to since her disappearance 1 week ago. Ms. Chisumpa is reported to have left with unknown people who requested for a transaction but did not come back and was later reported as missing by her family. A video of the 22-year-old has surfaced on social media depicting her being tortured by her alleged abductors who are demanding for 15,000 kwacha for her release after allegedly stealing 13,000 kwacha from her on the material day. While Police Inspector General Mr. Lemika Droba has indicated that the matter is being actively investigated, stakeholders have called for the same to be expedited. A visit to her mobile money booth by Camnet TV revealed that other mobile money booth attendants in that area are living in fear as the place is filled with harsh tones and whispers. Her fellow booth attendants in the area who indicated that they could not be on camera had this to say.
I feel like the matter is not being... I know the police are trying their best, but if they can put more effort at this, because it's been like 3, 4, 5 days since the person has been missing. And I'm sure even the criminals, the people who have abducted that girl are aware that they are unwanted. So this whole thing is really sad.
Whether you are educated or not educated, there is no employment. Even if we go outside, we ask around, find that even those people with papers, they don't do anything, they just stay at home. So if you find some money, you raise the capital, you start doing this business, it helps. You do 1 or 2 things at home. But if these things start happening now, we are going to be scared, we'll be staying at home, and we are going to involve ourselves in a lot of things, which is not going to help, but rather destroy our lives.
More stakeholders, among them Kamwala Ward 5 Councillor Mr. Maenda Simata, have called for all necessary security action to be invoked to ensure the safe reunion of Ms. Chisumpa with her family. Mr. Simata was speaking to Camnet News after delivering a letter containing the same to Police Inspector General Mr. Lemika Droba in the company of other concerned citizens.
It's in the public domain. The police should continue updating the people on a day-by-day basis on how far they have gone in trying to locate this Pamela, because the worst for her can happen. We don't know if she has been eating, we don't know if she has been abused. All those things are capable of happening. So the longer she's kept there, the longer the police take to find her, the worse it is for her. And currently her family is in stress, and even as concerned leaders, we are in stress, because at the end of the day, she's a member of our community, she's our sister, and we are concerned for her safety. We want her back, and we want her back in one piece. And it's up to the police to carry out these investigations speedily, not casually, so that we can have her back in our community safe and sound.
Citizens are on edge as they await the outcome of the matter. Zipporah Mshala, Camnet News, Lusaka.
Well, 2 quite interesting stories are there which we zoomed in, Sharon. The first one involving the Director of Public Prosecution, CU, who has been trending in the news, as well as Milingo Lungu. Also, and we saw yesterday it was the Minister of Justice that was up with a press briefing to just inform the nation regarding the way forward. We understand there's an affidavit that came out on the part of the who is the complainant? It should be a complainant in this case now is Mr. Lungu now, who says he was
given immunity. How come he's been rearrested?
Yes.
And
so the state also has to defend itself by also writing its position to submit to the court its stance on the matter. But this and also we also saw Mr. Antonio Wada distancing State House and President Hakainde Hichilema to be specific that
he never ever gave immunity to Mr. Mr.
Lungu. Oh,
Milingo
Mr.
Lungu.
Because
You know, if you say Lungu, it sounds like it sounds like you're talking about ECL.
Yes,
So
that's a common Lungu.
That's a common Lungu that we have. So I think whenever we are mentioning Lungu, we should actually finish to say Sharon Lungu.
Yes, I think so.
Amos Lungu.
Elijah
It's actually a Lungu, Amos. Ah, goodness.
So
Elijah Lungu.
So we're just hoping that the court issues will be up and we'll have an update regarding this development. And also played a story regarding the booth attendance. This is a topical issue, Sharon.
Very active councillor.
Yeah.
Very active councillor who's been on his toes actually almost all the time whenever there's an issue. This is the man who actually went to the council with sacks of garbage.
Yes.
One wonders whether he understood what he was doing or not, you know. He was at LCC, Lusaka City Council, with the heaps of garbage in the car. Like,
and many people say it was better place to be an opposition in the country,
yes,
right?
Yes.
But I like the spirit, Sharon, because probably, you know what, when it comes to work, we shouldn't compromise. If the governance institution needs to work, compel them to work. You don't have to say, because it's in Sevamu power, Tikakambati, but police must
have campaigning ourselves.
No, so you just have to make sure that what is right is right. You just approach matters as they are. And I think if we can just ensure that we do the Mind Simata formula. Every one of us, we should take the garbage to the Lusaka City Council offices in Lusaka one of these days, so that probably they should understand the magnitude of the problem in these communities. And probably they can find the better ways of managing these community-based organizations, the CBOs that are charged with the responsibility of managing garbage. But under the CDF, I think we should see young people emerging with better ideas on how they can manage waste, because I think that is money.
Yes, it is money, but I think one thing that we are not talking about as much, let me not say we, because I'm not the authority though, what the authority is not doing is encouraging people to separate the waste as they dispose of, like plastics, what, so that when those people who are collecting, they can collect just plastics, they can collect just paper, they can collect just, because that way, honestly, it's going to be easier for people to recycle that waste.
You are very right, Sharon. But
we don't talk about those things.
I was also reflecting to say, but if each household, for instance, can have those 3 bins where these trash, like the solid waste is put, plastic separated, if the metal iron is put on its own, at each and every household we should have those. So it means that we are separating waste at source.
Yes.
At household level. So when those are picking, the garbage trucks that are picking, for example, a truck for plastic comes and pick plastics alone.
A truck for
waste
will do the same. And the truck for that's the trash will come and
then we are sorted. So even at Chunga dump site, it should be clearly labeled. Even where the plastics are going.
Actually, the plastics will be taken directly to the recycling companies.
Yes, so
you know we have quite a few.
We have. But the Lusaka City Council can also try to even improvise. Where at the same Chunga dump site we have a recycling plant where they are also managing it. Then the excess they can be selling to the private sector, and the private sector themselves can equally sponsor such initiatives. But again, Sharon, I'm foreseeing another problem that has emerged where, you know, plastic is becoming lucrative. So if you leave a dish outside, you may get it because it's good material for recycling, so they get it. So and those trash bins are usually made of plastic. So, but we can find a way of making sure that they are well secured, they are well put, and whenever someone is found with one, they are questioned, such interventions. Let's zoom in a story on the ACC, Sharon, and the Katondo crane, which has always been there, and it is still
that
there.
crane.
And probably it may be still
That building, basically, for me, personal opinion, really, it should just be brought down. Not even the crane, but just the whole building.
Yeah, it's not,
because
it's not
why it hasn't
done.
been completed for people to occupy it is because there are some faulty issues. But then you just continue and say, okay, the crane also, it's 2 weeks. The crane is not being removed. One wonders what type of engineers we have. Let's look at these stories. You too can call in and send in those text messages. Let's get interactive. We'll look at these 2 stories involving the Anti-Corruption Commission, who are giving their update on what they have done, at least in the first quarter of 2022. Let's look at this.
Contractor tasked with removing this crane from the unfinished controversial building at Lusaka's Katondo Street assured the general public that the crane will be removed on Sunday, 17th April 2022. This update followed an attempt to dismantle the crane, a process that proved an exercise in futility, thereby leaving it leaning to the wall as observed. Henceforth, it has been business as usual for the traders around this area, a development which has raised concerns by concerned citizens and stakeholders. Monday, the Zambia Association of Citizen Contractors President Mutale Mpepo has challenged the local authority to expedite the dismantling process.
And leaves it hanging like that, in danger, the public waiting for anything disaster to happen, killing human beings. That is not good. As ZACO, we are asking the council and the contractor in charge to quickly remove that crane before lives are lost. Back to site, quickly remove that crane before lives of Zambians or any other person dies. Please do it as quickly as possible. We were told you were going to do that in, is it 5 days or so? But how long has it taken?
Meanwhile, the Lusaka City Council LCC Public Relations Officer Mwaka Nakweti has attributed the delay to failure by the contractor in charge to hire the crane with relevant height that can facilitate the removal of the leaning crane.
Of Katondo and Freedom Way. The council is in constant contact with the contractor to ensure that the crane is taken down as early as possible and that all the safety measures are considered. The contractor had been engaging private companies and individuals to get a crane with the relevant height, but they could not manage to hire one. And this has led to the delay in removing the crane, which has been secured to the building. However, the contractor has made mention to the council that through the Director of Engineering Services that they have engaged the Ministry of Transport and Logistics to help supply a crane that would help do the work. And we have since assigned engineers to ensure that the works are done on time.
And Mojo Works Limited site engineer Mutemo Dennis says the company is approaching the Ministry of Transport to organize for a relevant crane.
We, from the private sector, things have actually failed to work out, but government, through the Ministry of Transport and Logistics, I think will actually be able to give us a crane. We just from former ESCO, which is pontoons and mechanical works services, they are now preparing a quotation for their crane, for the crane for the department. So we should be getting a quotation from the finance department, maybe by 16 somewhere there.
Alex Shumba, Camnet News in Lusaka.
The fight against corruption in Zambia has been labeled a witch hunt by some opposition political party members and stakeholders who feel it has been targeted at certain individuals who once held public office. Addressing the media in Lusaka Wednesday morning, the Anti-Corruption Commission spokesperson Quinchiwe says the commission received a total of 306 reports of suspected corruption during the first quarter of 2022. Out of the reports received, a total of 148 were non-corruption related, while 158 reports contained elements of corruption and 132 reports were authorized for investigations.
At the close of the quarter, the Commission concluded and closed a total of 13 investigation cases. 11 arrests were also made countrywide, and the Commission had 61 cases before the courts of law, and 4 of the cases were concluded, resulting into 2 convictions. There were 6 cases pending judgment. There were no acquittals whatsoever recorded in any case before the court of law in the first quarter of the year.
Among cases that brought a lot of speculations on social media was one in which the commission reported that it was investigating a matter in which a former councillor bought a bank together with its assets. The commission has, however, U-turned and informed the media that the allegations were not true and that the case has been disposed of.
A former ward councillor in Lusaka was reportedly to have bought a bank and together with all its assets. On this particular matter, I wish to report that there was no substance whatsoever in these allegations that were made, and so the case has since been closed. So just like it was a former ward councillor. So using our investigations to the bank that was allegedly being bought, we found that there was no substance in those reports and the case has been closed.
And Ms. Chiwe says former Lusaka Province Minister Boma Lusambo is currently on the run and that the commission is engaging his lawyers to ensure that he avails himself before the commission to answer to more charges he has been implicated into.
The commission is also still making efforts through the lawyers of Mr. Lusambo to ensure that he appears before the commission. There are other allegations other than the possession aspect of it that he's facing currently. There are other allegations that have been leveled against Mr. Lusambo, and we want his lawyers to avail him to the commission for questioning because he has been elusive in the past few days.
Additionally, the commission says it has come across additional information concerning the involvement of Faith Musonda into Corruption Act, which has led to extended investigations.
So number one, possession of suspected proceeds of crime in form of a house at Kingsland City against Margaret Stella Musonda, alias Faith Musonda. In this particular case, following her arrest, the Commission has come across additional information in this matter concerning the same Faith Musonda, and this information has led to extended investigations. Investigations into alleged possession and concealment of properties reasonably suspected to be proceeds of crime against former State House Press Aide Amos Chanda. In this particular matter, investigations have reached an advanced stage.
With the Commission authorizing the investigation of 132 reports of corruption, the general public looks forward to seeing those involved be dealt with. Prudence Chota, reporting for Camnet TV News.
There you have it. We were just zooming in some of the stories that were making the headlines in the news. And we had a story pertaining to the Anti-Corruption Commission highlighting some of the progress they have made in the first quarter of 2022. Sharon.
Indeed, Patrick, those are some of the stories that we had yesterday, and we're still zooming in the show. In case you are just joining us, this is the Breakfast Show, and on set we are joined by Petauke Central Member of Parliament, Emmanuel Banda, who will help us discuss a number of issues. Now, just as a reminder, Mr. Banda has taken keen interest in the issue of the Pamela abduction. He further went on to the police to ask the Inspector General of Police and had a conversation with him. He further went to the house of the victim just to see how best he can help. We have him on set. You can also call in and ask him various issues pertaining to Petauke and also his interest in this matter of public interest. Mr. Banda, good morning and welcome to our set.
Morning to you, Fesa, and good morning to you, Patrick.
Thank you.
My name's Emmanuel J. Banda, Member of Parliament for Petauke Central constituency in the eastern region of Zambia, which is Eastern Province. Yeah, and also in the August House, I'm also an independent chief whip. Yeah, thank you.
Interesting. Independent chief whip. We're there at least. You are representing the independents there in the house.
Yes.
I hope you are also doing a good job ensuring that your voice as independents in terms of representing us when it comes to making these laws, we are well represented. We just hope that. And just to kickstart, Mr. Banda, we just try to refresh the memories of our viewers by going into the clip that we had Sharon in the news, where Mr. Banda also took an interest to over the trending issue, the issue that has annoyed many Zambians and that has raised concern, the issue that has made citizens question authorities like ZICT and the Zambia police. So we just listened to that story on the abduction of Pamela. Then we will be back as we get deep into our conversation with our guest. Stay tuned.
This is the video going around social media involving Pamela Super, 22 of age, who is believed to have been abducted by unknown criminals. A case which is so alien in Zambia as described by Zambia police. Some basic facts in this matter are that on the material date of April 13, 2022, Pamela was at her Airtel booth when two male persons went to her booth and pretended to be customers wanting to transact money. Later on, the duo was seen moving with her across Cairo Road, and that was the last time Pamela was seen. On April 15, 2022, a friend to Pamela received a call from a victim's phone demanding a ransom of 15,000 kwacha for her release. It has now taken social media for the public to learn of this incident. A number of concerns and sentiments have been raised on various social media platforms, including Petauke Member of Parliament J. Banda, who Tuesday morning visited the police headquarters to inquire, like any other, why the seeming laxity from the security wings.
Any law. So I don't know anything. I've never investigated anything, but according to my own understanding, my opinion was that the police should be with these people who are receiving calls, so that at least whatever information is coming, they should be working on it.
When was this case reported to the police by the family, according to you?
It was reported on Thursday. So you can imagine, because I was so interested, because it was reported on Thursday. So Thursday, that's last week, and today it's Tuesday. That's why I said, no. I'm sure maybe with my input and the family, I'm sure we can bring good results. So that's why we have decided to come here. Now I requested to see the IG, and I thank God we are welcomed nicely. So from there now we have been handed over to the investigating team. So they are now talking with the family members, those who are receiving information from those who abducted the girl. Yeah, for me, I've got 80% confidence in Zambia police that they'll bring to book the criminals who are behind this girl, Pamela.
This development has disturbed some mobile money booth operators along Lusaka's Cairo Road, where Pamela was operating from, appealing for tight safety measures from the security wings, as these people have been a target by swindlers lately.
Abasina mbere bwino chani baba pena yona video chifupa tenzo byonera chekutali na tabwa chati namuno muzambia kwa bonkara ma issues yaso na mbere bwino pangono peka oti tamboyo pankara mabuzi mundu akakutana pena ngo mtu agwera na moto okagwera so tamboyo pati mundu ngamina ngachite stinga zile so yankala chemonga ati muntu akakuza transaction yocho kapa booth betamuza chapati ngasimufuna ubwera pa booth beta mwankala so chabe sike cheba funika cheba trace chabe ngati uja muntu pali video mina anatuma ija funika trace pali namba ija ngati kwani sika bafunika ba trace namba ija so ngati bana moving apaja pa mibaliri bapezeko machine yakuti bangasakire kumupeza uja muntu kwa mina aliri
together maybe zambo kumbuka olokuma 13 so okuma 15 kai mwene ankalira ija litafia maningi hapa so yanganira kairi in terms of maybe communication because it's some about sofuninga or both when you start deposit or withdraw kuri muntu associate ndi sakaire lo bank so apeza drum bank achoka amochita attend kuri muntu panja ama nkala mwamene muja mwana wankala mabuthi ya they attend to people. But remember, Beatrice, after Banjo, Manga Nepo, Jamuntu, in all angles the no.
Meanwhile, addressing the media, Police Inspector General Lemi Kajova says police have instituted investigations into the matter.
We would like to inform the public that this type of crime is alien to this country. The Zambia Police takes protection of women against any form of crime seriously. As such, we have put all our resources together and working with other collaborating partners to possibly secure a safe release from the alleged abductors. We are calling on the general citizenry to fully cooperate with us as we work around the clock to have our release from these criminals.
No human deserves this kind of ill treatment, and this kind of lawlessness must be highly condemned. One can only hope for a swift release of Pamela safely. Alex Chimba, Camnet News, in Lusaka.
All right, there you have it. We were just trying to refresh our memories regarding that incident that annoyed many Zambians, including Mr. Banda. Mr. Banda, we want to just get your perspective. What compelled you to want to intervene in this matter?
Thanks a lot, Patrick. Patrick, first of all, this is not the first matter to happen in this country, and also in particular Lusaka, because I'm sure some weeks ago we saw a baby at Udran's police station who was kept there, and they were looking for the parents, and that baby was identified by the grandmother. And when that baby was identified, I'm sure the grandmother explained to say the mother works for a booth, but up to now, we don't know where that woman is. And I'm sure you saw there was no any statement on media given to say the whereabout of the mother to that girl. And you can imagine, up to date, there's no information. All of us were blank. We don't know what is happening. What we only know is that the baby was recovered by police, and the baby was kept there by police, and we were only told to say the baby, I'm sure, was run by the car. Listen.
Yes.
But after when the relatives with the grandmother came to police, she explained to say, no, this baby was with the mother, and the mother works for the booth. Yes, but up to now we are still waiting, and I'm also appealing also to the security wings. They should also inform us and inform the nation how far they have gone about the previous case. Because I'm sure even the parents, they would wonder to say, what about this fresh case? The fresh case, they have addressed the nation. What about the previous case? So it was also on that angle where I had to pick it up to say, no, I'm sure even this case, it will just go quite like the previous one. So let me try to make a follow-up. Because go to Nigeria, that Boko Haram started just like that.
You're right.
Yeah. So even in Zambia, we may be experiencing such things if we are not careful. That's why I always go by our culture. In our culture, when we are growing up, when you go for fishing, karuta kyo katansomba makore zote chati mlamba ngatumfuna muchitechi ufuna mlamba mlamba yes. So mlamba ngatumfuna ka shape kake kankare bwino upeteke nukari unana ndiye pa upetekewa bwino koma ukayuma nuo vute tupange ka shape kati mufune kati kankare bwino mpani so ukali unana pamene pani kupeteka lomba ni same na makesi pa yamba pamene hapa. We need to bring those who are behind it to book so that we can bring it to stop also. It should stop, because it's ungodly, it's biblical, it's uncalled, because Zambia, it's a Christian nation. We can't be experiencing such things. Those things, we used to see them in the movies. But now, come on, we are experiencing them in real life, which is not good. So this fight, it doesn't need just the member of parliament for Petauke, no, or maybe Patrick, no. It needs each and every Zambian to come together so that we can fight this vice which has just come, which is ungodly. Because, and also, Zambia's Christian nation, the only person, there was the Myron brothers there.
Yes.
Let's not forget about history. In Central Province, there was Myron brothers who were killing people. But have you seen God intervened until those people were brought to book? So even now, let's bow down to God and ask God for intervention. Is the only answer. So that once we ask God for intervention, there's nothing. There's no one who is clever than God. And believe you me, even God, when he can intervene, he will intervene through security wings, whereby God will give strength and knowledge to the security teams. So we need to ask all the churches in Zambia, regardless of the name of the church, they need to come together. Let's pray over this bad spirit. Let's also put heads together as public leaders, like members of parliament, ministers, councillors, council chairman, mayor, any leaders, even you also, the media, because the media also, you are the key point in dispensing information in the country. Without the media, the information can't go out. So nowadays, the media is the key. And we are lucky that in Zambia now, social media, we've got social media, which is now more influential. To anything, social media is more influential. So let's using the media plus social media, I'm sure we'll corner these people.
Do you think the police are professional enough to bring these perpetrators to book?
Because then you also mentioned another case that is unresolved. Yeah. How the frequency of updating the nation. Do you still have that confidence in terms of the 80% you had indicated, Mr. Banda?
Thanks a lot, Patrick. Patrick, I can assure you to say, the way I saw how they came in, how they started handling that case, that's why I still have confidence to say we are equal to the task with our security team, which is Zambia Police and other agencies of security in the country. Because just when I went to police, I'm sure you saw the IG in the evening addressing the nation, informing the nation how far they have reached. So I've got confidence. And immediately, the way they welcomed us, I can see, you can tell, even if you go to someone's house, you can tell the way they welcome you, you can tell to say, okay, these people are concerned or these people are not concerned. But the way I saw, they were concerned like it's one of them who was affected. And indeed, it's one of them because he's a Zambian, and all of them, they're Zambian. I'm the Zambian, I was affected. Even you're a Zambian, you're affected. Each and every Zambian is affected. Let's not put, like even these things, let's not politicize it. The way I've seen some other people doubting to say, no, it's a stage thing. No. Let's be human. It can be in your shoes. Kwasu tukamba kuti maliro. Yowa yakankala pali weho. Yakankala pami yako if yali kuli mweho wa Patrick. Then me, I was thinking that maybe you are just joking when you're not okay. But when it's in your shoes, that's when you can feel it. To say, no. These things, I'm sure, it's really painful. It's really painful.
Have you made the pledge that you wanted to do the 5,000 that they were asking for?
Yeah, I made that pledge, and I had withdrawn the money, so we were waiting that for that communication. But that communication, there was nothing.
Up to today? Yes,
up to today. But that day, the phone just came on for about 1 to 2 hours, then it went off again for Pamela. Yeah. But they said that Tuesday, since there was a long weekend, so they wanted the balance on Tuesday, around 11. But we were waiting. I was with them until 15, so that immediately they communicate, so that we can try to give the money, then we save life. Then from there now, that's when now those people, maybe we can leave it now in the hands of the police, so that at least we should save the life of that young girl, because to me, she's a young girl, because that's when she wasn't yet married, and doesn't have any child. So to me, she's young.
She has a bright future.
Yeah, she's got a bright future. Who knows? Maybe in future she can be even a member of parliament, even the minister, even influential person. Because even me, I pass through those jobs. I've done peace works, doing what, but no one knew when I was doing those peace works that today I can be a member of parliament for Petoke Centre.
You are a member of parliament
Yeah.
now, and one of the responsibilities is to also make laws.
Yeah.
And in the house, what sort of advocates are you going to put up in terms of security? Because in these compounds, especially highly populated compounds like Kanyama, Chawama, Mandevu, security issues are usually a talk of the day. And we cannot be certain, because that Pamela issue surfaced because probably people managed to expose it on social media. But there could be other cases that are not exposed. How can we ensure that we put up measures that are strengthening our security, especially in our compounds?
Thanks a lot, Patrick. Patrick, to me, my opinion, how we can protect these girls who are operating in the booth, because those booths, yes, we can say that maybe they are useless, but they are what? But to tell you the truth, countrywide, it has helped a lot, because it has provided youth employment. That's the only employment we are comfortable to say. Because when you count the numbers, even just Lusaka, there are more than 200. So at least from the booth, that's the one which has employed from the time they started with the Zona, when they shifted from Zona to Airtel money and MTN money, it has employed a lot of people who are just sitting in the compound, who are just drinking, maybe wasting their knowledge into bars. But me, my own opinion, when we open parliament, I think what I can advise and what I can ask my fellow members of parliament is maybe let it be, let's say these people, we should be putting them in, let's say in one building. Then we give them, let's say, a table there. Just the way at go to arcades. Arcades, Airtel money. I'm sure you have seen. They're just counters here, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can put them even in one room, maybe there are 10. When the customers comes, they'll see where they can go, just there. Then there now, security to be there. Because those people, they can't come out. So let's say, for example, in Cairo Road, even there, we can even come up with a big temple building. Maybe a room like this one where we are, whereby they can put tables, counter. So whereby counter 1, counter 2, counter 3, maybe in one room, maybe there can be 10 counters or 15 counters. So which means those people, they will be secured. Because if anyone wants to make any deposit, who need to come into that room, and that room will have security cameras, whereby each and every person who is transacting, at least his image remain. We cannot say, okay, that person is the one who transacted. No, it's Mr. Patrick who transacted with counter 1. It's Mr. Patrick who transacted with counter 9. Just like that.
Then there's also an aspect of, you mentioned the security cameras, especially in your public facilities. If you see Cairo, that's a central business district. So how can we improve in terms of surveillance, in terms of cameras, the presence of the police themselves, especially in these public facilities?
Thanks a lot, Patrick. Patrick, where we are now, we are experiencing global economy, whereby things are hard everywhere. And the way we are thinking, we can say, yes, Zambia, maybe things are hard, but maybe other countries, things are harder than Zambia. So there's also a possibility that these other people, they can be coming also from other countries. Exactly. Because I'll give you an example. There was a lot of criminality in South Africa. In South Africa, whereby they will even grab you a vehicle as you are entering a home. They'll grab you a vehicle as you are entering the bank. They'll grab this and this. But South Africa, they have tightened the security. So I'm sure those people, maybe they can even go in other countries. So,
and as you said, the immigration recording a case of a foreigner who wanted to kill a fellow Chinese, who was hired from South Africa and the other country, Sharon, Ghana, yeah, they came into the country and they pretended to be Zambians. Yeah,
have you seen? So those people were not Zambian, but they committed those offenses in Zambia. So it's not that the police, they're supposed just to be in the street doing what, no. You can put even a camera. But you have got a control room. A control room, that's when you can put now people monitoring. When you see any suspicious to the certain area, you dispatch police officers now to go to say, no, that side we are suspicious of this and this and this. So that's what you need. Not the police officers just moving in the street. No. You can't, because even a thief, you can't. Thieves, they don't have number plate on the back. Yeah, they can even dress smart like a minister, like a pastor, like a member of parliament. You can't know, like an accountant. You can't know. So the only thing we can do, we need to put heads together, and also. In the August House, when we open, we need to change certain clause in the Constitution, because there are some clauses which were made in UNIP, and those things you find that they don't exist anymore. Like, I'll give you an example, like for councillors. The councillors, I'm sure you have seen me on social media saying that councillors, they should be entitled to a salary now. Why? It's because things have changed. In UNIP, a councillor in a year used to go to council 4 times. That's why it was a voluntary job. But now, and the constituents never had the Constituents Development Fund in UNIP. It was only introduced during MMD as a splash fund. If you see, as a splash fund, when you go to a constituency, when they ask you money, you give. That's how it was introduced. But now, look, now, in New Dawn, it's at
3,000.
No, 3,000. It's not a salary, Patrick. Patrick, you should differentiate.
So there should be increase from that.
No, look, you should differentiate between an allowance and salary. You should differentiate. Councillors, they don't get salaries. Go and interview one of the councillors. They'll tell you it's just an allowance which they get, and that allowance, the maximum they get a month, it's 3,000. If you see. So that's why I'm saying that right now, each and every constituency, MP together with the councillors and the council chairman, they are receiving, per constituency, they are receiving 25.7 million. It's a lot of money. Now, you want to give that money into someone's hands who doesn't have even a coin at home. Do you think that you have got protection over that money?
No.
And then do you think you're going to fight corruption over that money? No, the answer is no. That's why you find that, I'll tell you an example, Patrick. If you, every day you are reporting for work, then you are telling your boss to say, 10 months, boss, you haven't paid me. Which means, where are you getting money from? Which means maybe you're selling bundles here. That's why your family is able to survive and you are able to report every day for work. Yes. So if we are not paying them, then the CDF man, don't you think that they'll start coming up with the companies now to be contractors themselves? And then tomorrow you charge them to say they are stealing because they are not supposed to be involved in the in contracts. Yeah, but they will be forced to because they don't get paid.
How much are you proposing, Mr. Band?
Patrick, even here at Camnet TV, you pay people according to scales, according to your position. Yes, so even the councillors, that the council there. So council has got a salary scale for director, accountant.
For a director or
no. Look,
or a general worker. So which one are we going from this?
Yes, look, it starts from general worker at council until to the council chairman.
Yes.
So now you should see to say, where are they falling councillors? Are they on the same? Are they same? On the same rank with casual worker? Then let them given the salary of the casual worker. If they are according to seniority, in short, if they are senior than the casual workers, or they are same with casual workers, let them start getting what the casual workers are getting. If they are on the same level with the directors, let them start getting what the directors are getting. If they are same level with the CS, let them start getting what the CS is getting. So technology is changing each and every day. So we can't live in the past in unity, because right now a lot of causes which we are using, it was in UNIP's time, whereby these other things, they were not there, they were not existing.
Yes, Mr. Banda, that reminds me of Mr. Patrick Saluvosa, who was here, seated where you are seated. He was telling us to say,
Ungagule motoka. He's a councillor.
Yeah, that's why they end up. You saw in Matero, there was a fight, I'm sure. There was a fight between a councillor and a member of parliament.
Yes.
About prots. Yes, so maybe it was one of them, and you find that the councillor was right because he had followed the procedure of getting prots. Yes, whereby the MP felt it's not good, but what can the councillor do apart from selling that prot so that he or she can put food on the table, because it's got also responsibility at home.
We have the conversation going, Sharon, there. Another issue. We are talking various issues. We started with the issue of Pamela's abduction. You too, in case you want to add your voice on that, you can engage with us and Mr. Banda in the studio. We are now talking to various issues pertaining to the state of the nation, and Mr. Banda has just brought out one issue pertaining to the issue of councillors getting a better wage there, Sharon. And viewers, if you have a perspective regarding what Mr. Banda is saying, you too can contribute even on our Facebook platform by suggesting whether you think they need to
we need to have a higher salary or not,
so that we get the conversation going.
Indeed, Patrick. Now, Mr. Banda, you are an independent member of parliament for Petauke, but all along we've known you as a Patriotic Front member. Has this changed, or what is the status?
Sharon, one of the qualifications for me to stand as an independent was that I should resign to a political party I used to belong. So I tendered my resignation for me to be qualified to stand. So I resigned. So I'm surprised because a lot of people, they usually ask me those questions to say, are you still Patriotic Front, or are you still?
Do you still have a soft spot?
Yes, or maybe
do you ECL? Well, for the presidency.
So you were on an independent.
Yeah, well, we are independent, but we also thought to say my supporters can also support ECL for the presidency. You remember?
Look, as an independent. So to answer your question,
yes.
I'm no longer PF. I resigned. But let me now clarify it to you. As an independent, you are non-aligned party. You can support whoever you want. Even in parliament there, we are non-aligned. We can support, we don't support based on the party, but we support based on your opinion. So it's about my opinion. If I endorsed that time, the way I endorsed the president, the former president, Dr. Edgar Chagwalongo, yes, I felt to say, no, let me support him. Maybe it was my opinion. Yeah, even now, I'm free. Today I can support this because I'm independent. I don't belong to any political party. Because once I belong to any political party, then my seat there will be declared vacant.
Okay.
This is according to our constitution now.
Yes.
If I can belong to any political party, then my seat will be vacant. But I can support just them. Let's say I've got a by-election, then I'm entitled, I can support. To say, no, vote for this candidate. No, vote for this candidate. Yes, there I can do. But to say, no, I've defected, I've joined this political party, then just there, then
you're declaring your seat vacant.
Yes, my seat is vacant.
Okay. Now let's weigh in the issue of the UPND administration 8 months down the line. Briefly, how would you describe their administration?
Yeah, thanks a lot. To me, I can describe it, each and every political party, Sharon and Patrick, they have got a manifesto. So if a political party has got manifesto, they need also time to put things, to see who can, it's just like football. In football, you will be given, maybe you'll be given as a head coach, but and then you are given players. You need to understand first the players. Is this player suitable to play number 9? Is this player suitable to play number 7? Just like that. So even the president now needs also time. He needs time also because he's studying also the people he's working with. Is this one equal to the tax? If not, then you're going to see now reshuffles, which means he's still assembling his team. So let's give him 1 year. That's when I'll come. Invite me after 1 year. Then when he clocks a year, invite me. Then now I'll come and give you my opinion, the way I'm seeing it, how the new dawn they are moving. But as now, I haven't seen any reshuffle. What about if he tells me to say no, now I want to do the reshuffles because I've seen to say here.
That's your thought. Someone wants to
talk to you. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning,
Thank you so
sir.
much. Tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Bright Onyanga speaking to you from Capri Poshi. Good morning to one of the members DJ Banda.
Morning to you from Kapirimposhi, Mulishani uko Kapirimposhi.
Ili bwino mweo, nena mbera mushe, kuona muka makastrini, na kabisa na namwe, now I agree with the opportunity I was wishing to see you speak. You know, I always comment on your Facebook. I wish you can adopt the Poshi and become our MC. Well, I'm happy that they are asking you questions that I would have liked to ask you as well. And to begin with, I would like to appreciate the kind of a member of parliament you are, because for me, that it is not about the degrees, diplomas, what I value in leadership is the attachment to the grassroots. how is your heart attached to the people that voted for you, or the people that you went to align on those things, or the people that trust in you? How are you attached to them? That is the most important thing. I love the way you visit your constituents time and again. I love how you interact with the people from your constituents. I'm more happy with one thing that you can qualify, because there was also somehow behind it, of knowing whether you still belong to the group or you stand as opponent of the independence. I think you qualified that issue, and I'm happy about that. Then a quick contribution.
Please go ahead.
Well, so far, for the new government, we are happy with the number of elements that we brought in that have at least shown us some good picture that we are heading somewhere. But there's a caution. The government has to ensure that they don't allow people to enter into a zone of frustration. Let them find a way in which they will expedite so many processes that they are trying to do in order to bring about the development to the people. I still go back to the same thing. CDF, what development committee? The what development committee have got a very big job to do, I'm saying you, a very big job. No one, it is happening for the first time that we want everything to be done under CDF. We want people to be involved in choosing what kind of intervention projects are going to be there in the constituency. I know what I'm talking about. I know what I've been seeing on the ground. There are some people that are getting involved, but please, whoever is getting involved, for you MPs, as you are trying to speak or to get communication from these so-called one development committees, ensure that you are really attentive when you scrutinize these committees so well that they are not going to make mistakes.
Okay,
all right.
Yeah, just to be quick. Thanks a lot from Kapili for those words, and I'm really humbled. But let me just clarify, because the main point, it's about what development committee.
Yes.
So what development committee, like myself, I was one of the people in Parliament who were reviewing the CDF guidelines.
Exactly.
So I can assure to them to say, yes, now the World Development Committee, they're entitled to an allowance. I know they're saying that they've got a lot of jobs. Yes, they've got a lot of jobs, but to me, I addressed all World Development Committee members to receive whatever application, if it comes to empowerment, then they shouldn't refuse anything. Let them just approve anything. They shouldn't look to a face to say, no, this one is independent tractor, because in my constituency, they know me as tractor. That was my symbol. So anyone who was working with me, they identified as tractor members. So to me, I told them to say, I don't want to hear to say you are only receiving application or projects from tractor members. Your job now is to receive application from each and everyone, as long as part and parcel from Petaoke Central Constituency. So I know other constituencies, yes, they rejected them. I heard, I saw. I had posted something concerning CDF on my page, where a lot of people were complaining to say, this World Development Committee, they charge, they do what? No, I'm telling you now, I was one of the person reviewing CDF guidelines. The CDF, the World Development Committee, CDF committee, they're not supposed to charge you anything. Anything. It's just free charge. And then as World Development Committee, they're supposed to approve any documentation which will come in form of a project, in form of loan, bursary, anything. Then their job is just to approve, not to reject. then now it will be the CDF committee now selecting according to the money which have been received. If let's say it's 10,000, let's say that 10,000, if it's only supposed to go to 2 people or 4 people, it will be the CDF committee now choosing those 4 people according to the first come, first serve. Also there, first come, first serve. They'll just choose 1, 2, 3, 4. Those who are on top, then they will approve. Then it will go. The next time again, they will start again from 5, 6, just like that. So them it's just to approve. Even if there are applicants, there are 1 million, then the CDF is to the World Development Committee is to approve. Let them push it to CDF committee, Constituency Development Fund Committee. Then that committee now, even them, they are just supposed to look on first come, first serve. If it's on grants, loan, and also bursaries, and also projects.
On that note, what are some of the pressing projects that you have in Petauke? You're working on this.
Yeah, like in Petauke, you know, us we have said that we want to transform Petauke Central Constituency into Petauke, the only Europe in Zambia. And indeed, it will be the only Europe in Zambia. So what we have put first, for the area to change, you need education. You need to educate someone first to understand about the change, the transformation, because someone without educating that person won't understand the transformation. So you need to educate. You need to educate. So first, we want to like water system. Education sector is our priority. Second, it's health sector. Third, it's water for both animals and human beings. So these 3, we need to work on this. And about water and road network. Yes, so road network and water, we have already decided to acquire some machine which we can do the dams on our own and work on the roads on our own, because just 1 kilometer to do a gravel road, it's about 800 to 1.2 million. So whereby you are receiving 25 million, so which means you can only, in 25 million, you can only do 25 kilometer road. But you find that
projects have suffered.
Yes, which means other projects have suffered. So for me, we have decided with my team to say, no, let's have our own machines, so that we can do. Maybe now when we stabilize now about the school infrastructure, furnitures in schools, that's when maybe we can think of bringing now contractors now to start working on the road. But at the moment, let's have the machines so that we can do them. And also dams, also we can do them on our own. Yeah. So we have already pushed for buying machine like excavator, grader, tipper, compactor, water bowser. These are the 5 machines we are going to have at Petauke. Then it will change even the road networks in the all constituencies.
We cannot talk about Petauke without talking about farming, because we understand it's a farming community, Eastern Province. We want to understand how would you describe the 2021-2022 farming season in terms of preparation, and how has it been so far?
Thanks a lot, Patrick and Sharon. To me, Petauke, about 90% of residents from Petauke, they are farmers. They're farmers. So to us, farming, it's the only income. It's like ndiye mgodi wasu wameneola, ndiye mine yasu kankhala copper belt waloga manota utaku Black Mountain, say Black Mountain yasu kupetauke ni munda tikalima nishituza tinkhale na ndalama tivwale titilye ndiyo za saradi timweko nikulima koma. I'll tell you one thing is that the season wasn't good because because of climate change. We were affected. The rains started in January. And you know, the planting time nthawi ya tushanga kupetauke tushanga mu November December by March nishivakulya dobe tayamba February dobe tayamba tukia kumwambo kunchwala tufungo twalira ampezenu kuva chitabu ino izi tentidye lomba koma chino chaka viliende mwamene virili ni bwino because mvula iwera mochedwa so vinchere vachitirapa. That's why you saw me in the August House in Parliament asking Her Honor the Vice President that we need relief food in Petauke because tuyumilatela niya. So kuliye vinchere we are not going to have bumper harvest in Petauke because of climate change. So we are one of the constituencies affected with climate change. Again, fertilizer, also the suppliers, they were paid in time, according to government, to say the suppliers were paid in time, but they didn't supply in time. So we were receiving fertilizer in March last month. Even this month, first week of this month, we were still receiving fertilizer in Petauke. So how can you have bumper harvest? You are receiving fertilizer in March. Then the planting time, it's supposed to be November, December. Then again, because of climate change, we were planting in January. So to us, we need prayers. So you need to pray for us so that government can come in to intervene to give us relief food to the people. Because to tell you the truth now, it's really bad. And because of this global economy challenges, it's really bad. You find that people, they don't have they don't even eat shima now. Wonka munga ni tunyo nweba iwokete msanga batula kunga ngaye wali azamine zolomba pa kulinga ngaye wakachula kunga ngaye wali azamine zo wamwelapo na manzi kwa sira wapikako vinkoto poleji ya chinji changa ngaye kwa sira bati nichabwino lini. So, but I'm sure government will look into it because Her Honor the Vice President promised in August House to say he's going to, she's going to take care of that through DMMU.
Okay.
Yeah. So we are waiting from them.
Honorable Banda, we are concluding this interview. Very elaborate and interesting. Quite a number of issues have come out. Your concluding remarks to the people of PETA UK in the making.
Yeah. For me, I know they're expecting a lot from me, and I just ask them to say, "Tending kaloka tijana, tending tisankare utukira, tending mbekeza ntiu chitukuko chonse chiwere chitukuko." For me to deliver Petauke, it's not me alone. It's each and everyone to be a player in this game of delivering development, on this game of transforming the constituency. It's not just up to the member of parliament or the council chairman or for the councillors. No. It's everyone. We need to come together. And also to the Zambian people, I'm asking each and every Zambian, from today, let's start praying over this bad spirit which has entered our country so that everyone can be at peace. Because this problem, yes, we can say that it's in someone's family, but don't forget, it can be, you can be in the same shoes as well. So if you are not praying for that family, then when it comes to you, who is going to pray for you? So please, let's not take this as politics or to politicize it, or maybe to take it like maybe it's a joke, the way other people on social media are joking to say, no, maybe it's just a staged thing, they want money, you want money, someone is bleeding the way she was bleeding. No. Let's be human beings. Let's remove that Western culture whereby no, you start behaving like we throw away our culture now. No. Let's also remember that we have got our culture, like here in Africa, we have got culture. Where we are coming from. Mwambo, mchakwasu tikuti mwambo. Mwe wa Sharon pe mkula. Mpunzi Samuel ni mwambo, ni uyu na uyu. Ola Patrick mweo. Mwambo mwipitamo, ni uyu na uyu. So, let's also remember to say we have got our culture, and let's respect our culture. And also let's respect everyone. But please, the church leaders, help us in this battle. You are also the key stakeholder on this battle, to pray for the security team so that God can intervene and give them power to close this issue.
Amen.
Thank you.
Patrick.
Respect our culture and our roots.
Yes.
That's where we conclude our conversation with Mr. Emmanuel Banda, commonly known as JJ, the Honorable Member of Parliament for Petauke Central in Eastern Province. Sharon.
Indeed, thank you so much for choosing us. Join us again tomorrow on the Business for Breakfast with Prudence Chota and Miriam Kayemba as they delve into conversations relating to money. Good morning.